This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P., South Jersey's hunting and fishing expert on WPG Talk Radio 1450 and WPG1450.com.
Oh, someone finally lowered the fan speed. Hey, you're inside Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P., WPG 1450 AM from 6 to 7, the Great Talk Radio, 7 to 8, 97.3 ESPN FM, 50,000 watts of the Rack and Fin Radio message. 13 years on the air, New Jersey's longest running and most successful outdoor radio program. Well, the wind is slowing down. Who knows what's going to happen? A weatherman. How can you have a job like that? Be wrong easily 40% of the time and still have a gig. Still get a paycheck at the end of the week or every 2 weeks. I don't get it. Well, the wind finally slowed down. Settle those seas a little bit, be able to get out there on those reefs and wrecks we have 1 week left of the Blackfish season for April. And shout out, hopefully, Captain Jim on the Atlantic Star can get offshore for those tile fish, those blue line, a.k.a. gray and golden tiles. Now, listen, keep a pen and paper handy. Scheduled in our last segment in the fishing reports, we are going to be giving some primo tog numbers on the AC Reef, some structures, so have a pen and paper handy or some recording device or whatever. These were provided by Hugh Carberry. He is the Artificial Reef Coordinator, Bureau of Marine Fisheries, and a toginator in his own right. Very generous with these numbers at Tom P. AC Reef in South Jersey is probably the best, and there are some monster tog. I've seen fish anywhere from 12 to 15 pounds this past week. Again, when the boats can get out. We'll also be giving some trout stocking numbers throughout the program. Now, this is the last week in most South Jersey lakes and ponds and rivers. I think we have one more. Tuckahoe Lake's going to get hit one more time. Also, Patcon Lake, a.k.a. Tuckerton Lake there on Route 9. But for Monday, now, these waters are not open until 5 p.m. on Monday in the Rack and Fin Radio area. The Manasquan River is going to receive 930 rainbows. The Toms River, now including the Trout Conservation Area, which hasn't been stocked the past 2 weeks, that's going to receive 710. The South Branch of the Metedeconk, 480, and the North Branch of Metedeconk, 310. Now, the DNR Feeder Canal, up there on the fringe end of the Rack and Fin Radio listening area, 1,670 rainbows. But that's like fishing in a long canal. Like we did the drains up there in the fens in the UK for the pike over the years. Just just long. You have the path on the one side, macadam, great fishing. Problem is a lot of those trout are getting nailed by muskies and some of the stripers in there. And also Lake Shenandoah up there at the park, 400 trout. Now, next week, or in 2 weeks, rather, I have a couple of cool events coming up. The New Jersey Outdoor Alliance's annual New Jersey Sporting Clays fundraiser event in South Jersey. They had a dinner last month up at the Blackberry and way up there in Stanhope, Sussex County. The hell with that. Is he driving $100 a ticket? I don't think so. Okay, Saturday, May 14th. Sign it from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. The shoot starts promptly at 9. It's going to be at Red Wing Sporting Clays. Yes, the great Red Wing Sporting Clays, totally animated now. What a great Sporting Clays course. Now, I know you have Scully's out there, Cedar Creek Sporting Clays. I mean, that's a lot of international competitions out there. This is a smaller, more intimate, more family run. Okay, it's totally animated. No more trap boys. Sorry about that, Shawnee. Sean was our favorite trap boy. He was great. His mom and dad own Honey and Sweets there on that little access road when you get off exit 48 there by Chestnut Neck Boatyard. But anyway, it's going to be running from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Starts promptly at 9. Now, $65 donation includes a 100-round of Sporting Clay shot over 15 stations. Lunch and cold beverages served after the shoot. Now, I have an idea. It's going to be sponsored by Bettino ShopRite. This food is out of control. I mean, again, my proclivities. I'm there. I'm not going to shoot. I miss all the. Here's the thing with me with clay birds. If I can't eat it, I'm not interested in hitting it. My lovely Denise Marie, our new nickname instead of point guard now is the Duster. We've been doing some clay bird shooting out there at the Stafford Forge at the public range with our foot thrower. The Duster. So she's going to be there. She's looking for a trophy. Okay, they have numerous events planned. You have to bring your own shotgun and shells. No single shot. I remember I showed up with a single shot. I said, "This is my hunting gun, man." No! So I had to borrow an over and under. I think out of 100 clays, I think I nailed about, let's see, it was under 20. Or was it maybe under 15? Okay. For more information, call Luke Perry, 856-498-1828, or go to the New Jersey Outdoor Alliance Facebook page or web page, and it'll have all the information on it. Again, $65 donation includes 100 rounds of sporting clay shot over 15 stations, an incredible lunch, cold beverages, an NJO hat, all the good stuff. It's going to be a great time at the fantastic Red Wing Sporting Clays off exit 48 southbound. Or exit 50 going northbound, hook back around. It's at Suey's Landing Road. You're going to go back under the parkway. Up there, you'll see a sign on your left. Make your first right, follow it straight down. It's going to be one hell of a good time. And also on the 14th, it's going to be the 3rd annual David Halbrunner Striper Tournament and Memorial Beef and Beer. Okay, he's great guy, from what I understand, over the many people I spoke with who knew him very well. Passed away of cancer. They're going to raise money for the American Cancer Society. We're going to have Bucky Toller on next week. He's involved in getting this tournament going. Sponsors include Jim's Bait and Tackle, Fanatics, the Flying Fish Studio, Cape May VFW, Post 386, Bowman's Heating and Cooling, and Jim Matthews Custom Builder. Contact Bucky, okay, 609-425-3982. Okay, that's going to be May 14th as well. It's the 3rd annual David Halbrunner Striper Tournament and Memorial Beef and Beer. Benefit the American Cancer Society. Okay, coming up, special guest Mike Caruso, Fisherman Magazine, 50 years young. Golden anniversary. Grab that cup, grab that Rebel. Be right back. Rack and Fin Radio. Some great reports on the back end. Fishing is going nuts. And from here, I am heading out to the Landisville Gunning Club's White Perch Tournament. Too much to do today. Be right back. Rack and Fin Radio.
On WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Here we are, back inside Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. WPG 1450 AM from 6 to 7, the Great Talk Radio from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 8, 97.3 ESPN FM, 50,000 watts of the Rack and Fin Radio message, celebrating our 13th season on the air, New Jersey's longest-running, most successful outdoor program. Hey, man, just a reminder, this coming Tuesday, Gloucester City Park Pond will be stocked with 100 rainbows, Rowan's Pond 170, Harrisonville Lake 390, Heritage Park Pond, a.k.a. the Obsequian Pit, is going to get 320. That's right there off the White Horse Pike. Laurel Pond, 190. Oak Pond, that is behind the South Region office there in Sicklerville, 320. And Birch Grove Park Ponds, 2 ponds right back here behind the Rack and Fin Radio Town Square Media Studios, will receive 290. These are the final stockings for this spring. And on Wednesday, Assunpink Creek, 210. The Cohansey River, 160. The Delaware and Raritan Canal, 580. Mary Elmer Lake there above Sunset is going to get 370. My South Jersey fave, the Morris River, 320. Ponder Lodge Pond down there in the Villas and the Cape, 360. What a delightful place to fish. Shaw's Mill Pond, 390. Hamilton, right down the road from the Piccadilly Inn, is going to get 420. South Violent Park Pond, 340. And Tuckahoe Lake, 400. Now, at the end of the show here, the last segment, we are going to divulge 3 outstanding sites on the AC Reef for togs. So get your pen and papers handy, man. It is going to be, we have 1 week left, 1 week remaining in the Blackfish season for, well, this spring. Just a special shout out to everyone at the Fisherman Magazine celebrating its golden anniversary. Can you believe it, people? 50 years. This has become the source, the bellwether of fresh and saltwater fishing on the Jersey coast, also New York, Long Island, Delaware Bay, Delaware, and Maryland, down to the Carolinas. The Fisherman Magazine had some ups, had some downs. I'm amazed that I've lasted this long, thanks to the grace of God and the grace of the great editorial staff up there. I've been writing for them since, I believe it was 1980 or 1981. Well, I want to celebrate the Fisherman Magazine, longevity in the fishing and boating industry. Longevity, and those words can be mutually exclusive because they come up and they go down. Mike Caruso, owner, publisher of the Fisherman Magazine, very special guest right now. This is from the heart, man. I've been with this magazine a very, very, very long time. Going to talk about the successes, the ups and downs, the drive that keeps his publication just getting better and better. And listeners, if you see the issue coming out this week, the May issue, the anniversary issue, you better have a pillow under your seat because you're going to slide right off your chair and bang your head. It is that spectacular. Mike Caruso, happy anniversary. Congratulations, and just knock it out, brother. You did it.
Thank you, Tom. Hey, it is an incredible, special occasion, for not just the fishermen and everybody else here. I mean, it's everyone's magazine. I mean, that's one of the things that I really feel is special, about who we are, is that, so many of the readers, the advertisers, people like you, the writers, are really part of the fabric of this magazine, which is what makes it different. I mean, we reflect what's going on in the market. We always have since day one, what's going on in the fisheries, right down to the granular level of your hometown and what's happening in your fishing community. That's been the formula, is to be relevant. And so, for us to get this far in this day and age, and we are a very niche type publication, saltwater fishing. Primarily, of course, we cover everything, but a real fixture out there, amongst people who live the fishing lifestyle. So, I mean, we're it's extraordinary. It really truly is in this day and age for print publication to get this far, to keep growing, and to have so many experts involved and continuing to want to be part of this thing. It's a phenomenon. I mean, we're often, just amazed ourselves of how people really want this brand, this type of information, week after week. So for us, it's an incredibly sweet moment, for everybody here and everybody that's been a part of this thing. And to come on your show, Tom, and to be able to speak publicly about it is a real, real pleasure, to do that. And so, I mean, let me take you all back. I mean, back in 1966. The Rena family, Rich Rena, he was a printer by trade, and he loved fishing. He's a communicator, and they started this newsletter. Now, back then, not like newsletters today, they're sent electronically. But they printed it up, and they started to circulate it amongst people they knew who fished, and people loved it. It was the sole source of that kind of fishing information, and people really responded to it. People wanted to be part of it, and became really one of the first interactive mediums out there, because people were giving us their photos, giving us their fishing reports. We started to kind of structure it in a way. It started on Long Island. Structure it in a way where we go into each port and get some reports from people, and share them. That's kind of what a lot of the these days discussion boards do. But back then this was the medium that did that, and it grew and grew and grew, and the production value started out. It was back in the days of everything being done manually in the printing process, and very labor intense, and to get the distribution out there was, you relied upon, your buddies who had station wagons,
Yeah, I remember that.
And a lot of, the editors, editors of the magazine would be the guys who would be involved in everything, not just editing the magazine. They were selling advertising back then, and so the Long Island edition, proved to be a great model. In 1974, the Renas began publishing in New Jersey, and it started, and it became, just viral for people, and they, with that same format, they just adopted and loved exactly the same type of information, and it grew and grew and grew. And then, shortly after, the New England edition popped up, and, so really interesting. We've evolved from that, obviously, that very kind of simple publishing format to something today that is really unbelievable. I mean, what we're doing these days. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're got a very unique kind of a hybrid publishing format where, we come out with this kind of super monthly, and then the weeks between in season, you get this, you get the traditional fisherman with with content and the fishing reports and the people, the places, the images, the fish that are from really every nook and cranny.
Exactly, Mike. Yeah. Well, the thing that got me, Mike, is that, okay, you've changed the format. When you took over the helm, You change the format. You change this whole system. Mike, for how many 40-something years, the driving force of this weekly, it was weekly. You always waited for the fisherman weekly. Mike, that's a Herculean task. Doing now, it's not any easier. Trust me. I tried to talk to Hutch twice the other day. Bags, I'm busy. And he was gone. Mike, doing it, and you were on board. I first met Mike back in I think it was early, mid-'90s in Anaheim. Back then it was called AFMA. It was the last year of AFMA before ICAST took over. And, Mike, I can tell you were a driver right there, man. You were dead. You believed in the publications. And I thought I was all over by all over the floor, I mean, visiting every booth with what advertising. But, Mike, putting that magazine out weekly, selling the advertising, the production, the quality of the editorial was mind-blowing.
Yeah. It's an incredible process. You cannot do it without incredible staff. People really dedicated, committed to getting the job done, and to have some really good systems in place too. Everything has to fall in line to do what we do, and we have 3 regional editions that we basically pump out weekly in season. And now with everything we're doing online, tremendous amount of work. The people in the industry we're in are the resource. I always said that. It's not the paper we print on, the quality of everything. It's the people, because being able to get this thing to your home on time it really is a draconian type cast to get that to happen. And today, we have actually taken steps and made the investment to get it to you even faster. We used to go just 2 years ago, 10 months ago, we were going to one postal hub. And then really, you're at the mercy of the postal system to get it delivered on time. We just started this weekly cycle this year where we go to 14 hubs, and we're doing it at the same time. So we pay to get it there. There's freight costs, and it costs more to do what we do these days, and to make it to hit that on-time delivery target. And we're doing things to make it look better once it gets there too. The paper quality has. We used to use a 27-pound raw newsprint stock, which is real grind. The worst you can buy, the cheapest. Now we're using a 45-pound for the weekly. It's really shown. The graphic quality is better. We're working with really talented graphic artists, and we're buying the best photos we can now, especially for the monthly. And so, everything's evolved and just keeps getting better. What we're doing online and with social media, just kind of adds to it all. And it's crazy, because what I love is that at the end of the day, what it does for the reader, the core person in this equation is the reader. We want to give them a product that's so distinctive in what you receive. You can't really get this anywhere. Such a comprehensive overview of fishing, on a weekly basis. That's written in a way. Some of these. Al Ristori, Pete Barrett. The best writers in the industry,
absolutely,
bar none, and no one would argue with that. The most knowledgeable authorities, and they all started with the fish. The amazing thing, and it's a real testament, is guys like that and so many others, started out, got their chops in writing, with the fishermen, and stuck with it. And even though, their heads were turned by the biggest magazines and organizations in the world, these other publications out there, and they've all been featured in them. But even to this day, they're back with us, many on a weekly basis, contributing to the magazine. And, they've had great opportunities, some of the biggest, but yet they still are part of this. And that's, that really kind of speaks to, the value and the position that Fisherman magazine has in the market. People just really, they have to have it. And, what I love is that how people feel when they're featured. The average person out there, when their photo is put in that fishing report, we hear it all the time, and we work the shows, and they come and they pull out their wallet, and they show us pictures, And, the first picture is of their wife and the second's of their children. And then there's the shot of the big striped bass, from the fishing report of the fishermen, and it's just, they hold it close to their heart. I think when you're included in print these days, it really just is a more important impression, out there in the world than a fleeting internet post or something like that. And, not to hold anything against the internet. We love the internet as well. But I just feel like when it's in print, it's more important, and people, kind of respond that way to it when it's you that's featured,
right.
Tom?
Right.
So that's something that, I think, and I hope never goes away, that people really value their when we showcase them in the reports, when we showcase them on the cover, when you win something like the Dreamboat, those are accomplishments that, nowhere else in fishing and nowhere else in the digital world can or does it really translate in the same way. So the fisherman has that kind of a way of accrediting you, as an
Absolutely.
angler.
Yep.
I mean, so it's really kind of cool. But Tom, I could go on for hours and hours here talking. I mean, I've been with the book now for 24 years.
Wow.
2 years ago, I acquired the company from the Rena family, and have great respect for what they came up with and developed. And what my vision is to continue along those lines and just really build out the production quality and make it just, really visually stimulating and, improve.
Keeping it going, yeah.
Yeah, keeping it going and building it, though, really. I mean, we got some great plans, and I don't know if anyone's noticed over the last number of years, but we're trying to make it, even better. This next issue is, I think, a true testament to...
Well, Mikey, hold it right there. We're going to get into that in the next segment. You better hang around another few minutes, brother.
Oh, yeah.
We're up against a hard break. Tom P. Join us on the line. Mike Caruso, owner, publisher, Fisherman Magazine, celebrating its golden anniversary. 50 years in print, taking the internet by storm. Grab that cup, grab that Red Bull. Be right back with Mike Caruso. Rack and Fin Radio, weekend of April 23rd already. Wow. Be right back.
This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Yeah, welcome back to Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. WPG 1450 AM, the Great Talk Radio from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, 97.3 ESPN FM, 50,000 watts of the Rack and Fin Radio message. Also streaming live on the web, WPG1450.com from 6 to 7, from 7 to 8, 97.3 ESPNFM.com. Very special guest on the line right now. We're continuing our conversation with Mike Caruso, publisher and owner of The Fisherman Magazine, celebrating its golden anniversary. The May issue, 50 years in the making. Now, what precipitated this? I was going through my files. I picked up a copy of, I said, look at this. The Fisherman Magazine, all starting to yellow up and stuff. May 19th to May 25th, 1983. It's on the cover. Tommy Russell, 68.5-pound record striper, IGFA. He caught it from the surf. Immediately caught my attention going back. Page 2. Urgent. Striped Bass Amendment 4, no sale. Write your state senator today. A full explanation of bill, who to contact, and your list of senators. So the fisherman has always been, besides the where to, how to, and how to get there and when and all that stuff, at the forefront of fisheries conservation. So I have to ask Mike right now. Mike, in today's era of putting more and more restrictions on recreational saltwater fishing by these radical enviro groups, the fishermen, again, you're at the right there. You guys, RFA, you're right there in the front. Bang, bang, playing smash mouth back, protecting the rights of anglers and keeping them informed on these management issues. That is an incredible challenge beyond, the normal, nuts and bolts of a fishing magazine, correct?
Oh, no doubt. Tom, it is a magazine. It is a business. But at the end of the day, it's run by people who are passionate about fishing. We all want to sustain the fishery and our way of life, and everyone else I know, subscribes to the same, lifestyle, the coastal lifestyle of, being able to go out there, catch fish, have a great day, kind of decompress from the stresses of life. I mean, we're talking about, we live in a pretty populated part of the earth here, and, fishing is, for a lot of us is therapy. Without this, lifestyle is not as enriching, and we know the value of this recreation, and it's really part of the fabric of who we are and what we publish. We go to great lengths, expense, effort to really keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on and disseminate that information, to the masses. Because when people know and people are informed, who also care dearly about, the New Jersey fishery and really what's going on, around the country, it empowers us. Knowledge is power. And, it's really part of one of the top goals of ours is to keep that level of people being informed at the highest point, because that's what successfully helps us protect, our fish and our fisheries, manage the marine conservation, and really just kind of do the right thing here. Most anglers are absolutely the most conservation-minded people out there.
Absolutely, Mike. Yeah.
And it's especially in Jersey. You have the unique perspective of really kind of seeing what's going on up throughout the entire region. But I'm always impressed with the New Jersey contingent, man, and how passionate and involved and to what extent the average person is willing to go to protect that fishery in Jersey. And, we stand right there with them. The people who are part of this magazine, Jim Hutchinson.
Hutch, yeah.
I mean, Hutch has fought hard, for the fisheries in New Jersey through the years. Pete Barrett. So many of the people who've been involved, have that in their sights, Tom. I mean, it's absolutely what we've done, what we do today, and what we will do way into the future.
Well, Mike,
whether it be the reef program, that was so important.
It's coming back. It's coming back. Mike, if I can interrupt you a second, though, way back when I started writing for The Fisherman, Pete was editor. He's Tom P. Your freshwater stuff is great. Do you fish any saltwater? See, I poke around the Manasquan Inlet, Barnaculite Inlet here. He said, why don't you try some writing, but learn more about the fisheries itself. So, Mike, at Pete's urging, I started to attend, council meetings and here and there, and Barrett was there. Over the years, Mike, I've written for, 10 different editors while Hutch is on a second run, and also Barrett. Russ Wilson, Andy Deere, Mikey Malpass, Dusty Rhodes, Karen Wall, Chris Leo. Always. They were omnipresent at these meetings, and whether in Virginia, whether in Jersey, again, balls to the wall, nuts and bolts, hands-on management, and how these regulations, as screwed up as they are sometimes, affect New Jersey's recreational saltwater fishermen.
No, we are not allowing anyone.
Hands on, Mike. Hands on.
No, we are the user group, and that's collective, not just people who subscribe to the fishermen, but anyone out there, we're all involved in this, Tom, and every voice matters, but evoking response from people, getting the information in their hands so that they can make their own decisions. Today it's a complex, marine conservation, fisheries management, all these things are complex. You need really smart people to, cover these things and on an ongoing basis remain educated and informed about what's going on. And so, that's what we invest in. And, not every media source will go to that extent, but that's one thing that I will say, we're committed to it.
Well, Mike, one of the things, too, is that, again, and the weekly, when you were strictly a weekly, now you have the big monthly and you have the report sections, you have that podium. Mike, you have that weekly to keep fisheries management, opinions, facts in the forefront. Of your constituents, so Mike, that's
take
vital.
Full advantage.
Absolutely.
Jim Hutchinson, his editor's log is arguably the most influential, and what he does with his videos. His video reports in our e-newsletter and on the website. It's influential. It's impactful. It's provocative. It's thought-provoking. It does sway opinion,
sure.
So every week, the content type is very concentrated in the type of news and information that contributes to protecting the New Jersey coastline, the fisheries, our estuaries, et cetera, access being the big one, and we're committed to that, and it's what I think, kind of helps our strong positions continue to exist.
Well, Mike,
you're right, Tom. It's not just the fishing reports and, all the other the instructions, the how-tos, the product reviews. That's really a big part of how I think, we became, and continue to be, the voice, the authority.
Mike, the voice, the horsepower, listeners of the Fisherman Magazine, my tenure, a fantastic tenure at the great H.D. Wood Advertising there on West Avenue in Ocean City, Plaza 22403. Mike, some of the best years of my life in this industry. I've been around a long time. Whenever we had clients advertising, where the budgets came in, spend your clients' money in the most effective way. Always, there are myriad publications out there. Some good, some suck, some middling. Always came up in the top 3 was the Fisherman Magazine. And Dick Wood said, I remember one prospective client ended up signing on. Mike, they advertised with, I want to mention it for years and years. Yeah, but they don't have an ABC or there. It's a newsprint. Dick says they've been around 25 years. They've been around 30 years. The Fisherman's been around 35 years. That's the kind of horsepower. Now, Mike, going through this issue I have here, I'm seeing a lot of advertisers still with you. Grady White, Shimano, Andy, Pan. I mean, all these years, Caruso, still with the Fisherman Magazine, as well as some dealers I still see, Lima and Sons Marine. I mean, it's amazing that the Fisherman still draws. It has that kind of economic horsepower as well, where the person spending their advertising dollars, as you know, Caruso, are primo. And put the trust in the Fisherman. So that's testament to the success over these 5 decades. Yep.
Well, Tom, people don't spend money without a return on investment. And, the only thing that I could, my only response to why we have the client credentials we continue to have is due to, that return. People are seeing the response that they really need to see to continue to be in that book over and over again, to have that longevity. The next issue, the May issue, the 50th anniversary issue, is our largest issue. The client credentials are unbelievable. There's so many advertisers in there. It really made us proud. Adding to all the other metrics about who we are, the nuts and bolts, the readership, the demographics, the distribution, all these other things that media buyers place their or make their decision based off of are all very, very strong metrics. But at the end of the day, many media buyers, they look for something unique about how the readership perceives the magazine. Readership has a lot of confidence in what is said in the magazine. There's a credibility factor. We have an integrity because of what we do, because of the fishing reports and the accuracy and our involvement in fisheries management. All these things add to the perception of credibility that we have. And so if a reader has confidence in the magazine, they also have confidence in the brands they see. Exactly. And when you have more confidence in the brands you see in a magazine, you're more motivated and influenced to actually purchase something. And so that's the uniqueness of the Fisherman. People love it. They're loyal to it. And if it's in there, it's got to be good. We don't steer people wrong. We have trusted partners with great services and products to offer of their own. And we've been doing business with people for literally 50 years. That's a really unique milestone to have that kind of, we're not a fleeting glimpse. We're not a fly-by-night. We're going to be here another 50 years.
I got you. I got you on that. Join us on the line, Mike Caruso, wrapping it up. 50th anniversary, golden anniversary to Fisherman Magazine with the upcoming May issue, which will be available on newsstands, Mike, I believe, sometime this coming week?
Yep, we print it Monday. It mails late Monday night. People start to see it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, this issue is so special that it will be available as a digital magazine on our website. All right. Now, typically, all of our magazines are behind the subscription wall. This one is open to the public. Come to the website. You'll see it on the homepage. Open it up. You'll be able to read it just like it was a regular copy. So, the reach of this magazine is going far, far beyond our typical distribution because of what we're doing with the digital edition. And this magazine is twice the size of our regular issues. We've commissioned artwork for the cover that it will blow your mind. It's unbelievable, the cover, which we're selling posters, artist prints, really, 50, only a limit of 50 artist prints of the cover.
No kidding.
And you got to read about it in the magazine. They're absolutely gorgeous. People are going to love the cover. And what we're doing is we're profiling what we call the Fisherman 100. 100 people over the last 50 years that have been part of the fisherman family, been part of the regional fisheries, and been movers and shakers and influencers and true authorities. And it's going to be a great read. It'll take you on a kind of a carpet ride through our existence and through the existence of the fisheries. It's fantastic. I mean, we're really proud of this issue. We put a lot into it. It's our most ambitious issue from a production standpoint. I mean, I got to get off the phone and get back to work because we're actually uploading it to our printer later today. But I'd love to hear feedback on it. And again, it's just it's one of those moments in life that we feel really, really good.
Well, Mike, congratulations again. Your tenure there, and one of the questions, we don't have time, Mike. Where does a fisherman, as an intern holding up a sign, where does a fisherman go from here? I mean, is this the pinnacle, Mike? You're always looking like the bear went over the mountain. You're looking for the next peak to climb, Caruso. I know that. So, God spares 50 years from now, I'll still be alive. Caruso will still be alive. We'll be talking about it.
Well, expect it to continue to look better and better and better and better. I mean, graphically, we live in an HD world, and the images have to wow you. That's what you can expect. The technology, we will harness the technology to a greater extent. We have some things brewing that I won't talk about now, but there's some really cool projects on the table. There are social media experiments that we're doing that there's a lot of really cool things, Tom, and we do not stop here. It's an old magazine, but I got to tell you, we feel young. We feel like it's young and that there's so many new things for us to take harness and hold of and provide to the market out there that we're going to take advantage of everything we possibly can.
Well, Mike, congratulations, and I can't wait to pick up this issue, brother. You take care. Best of the lovely Joyce, the beautiful Isabel, and Iron Mike. Take care, man.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Tom, and thanks to everybody out there listening.
You got
really appreciate it.
Take care, Mike. Have a good weekend.
You bet. Bye-bye.
50 years. 50 years. My tenure began with a fisherman, 1981. Wow. Hey, up against a break. Coming back. Okay, let's get to the fishing, freshwater, and salt reports coming up, man. Grab that cup. Grab that Red Bull. Hold on, man. Grab that rod, man. The bite is on.
This is Rack and Fin Radio with Tom P. on WPG Talk Radio 1450.
Yeah, back inside Rack and Fin Radio with me, Tom P. WPG 1450 AM from 6 to 7. A great talk radio from 7 to 8, 97.3 ESPN FM, 50,000 watts of the Rack and Fin radio message. Okay, next Thursday, April 28th. Final on the trout stocking list. South Jersey, most are done after 3 weeks, except that Pack-On Lake, a.k.a. Tuckerton Lake, is going to get stocked one more time. We have, for the 28th, Greenwich Lake, 350 rainbows, Iona Lake. I love Iona. My Iona, 320. Shadowless Sandwash Pond, 290. And on Friday, April 29th, Sylvan Lake, 320. The southwest branch of Rancocas Creek. That's a tough little thing to fish, man. 170. Crystal Lake, 410. And Pack-On, a.k.a. Tuckerton Lake, right there on Route 9, Tipseaman Park, 460. Hey, let's start off the final segment today with a freshwater report. On the line with us Jeff at Blackwater Sports Center. Jeff, how you doing, man?
Good, Tom. How are you this morning?
Freshwater, my brother. Talk to me. What do we got on the Sweetwater scene?
Well, with the full moon on the 21st, these big girls are starting to try to get up on the beds and do their thing. So you're going to see a lot of bass in the shallows sitting on beds. So now it's time to start throwing those lizards, those types of creature baits, shaky heads, and you can just sit there and you can pick off some good 3-4 pound fish. I actually had a 6+ last weekend doing this.
Oh, so nice.
That time of year.
Now, Jeff, the public waters, I mean, they're loaded with largemouths. The Division of Fish and Wildlife has done a great job over the years stocking, monitoring population. So, listen, I mean, you have access to private ponds. That's great. Jeff, give some hot lakes in your area, man.
Some of the best in this area, in my opinion. Rainbow Lake on Landis Avenue has come back and been a shining star in this area.
Oh, yeah.
Parvin State Park is always one of the best because it's just got a lot of access, a lot of fishable water. The state does a great job keeping that clean for everybody to go. Mm-hmm. And one of my little hot spots is a trout stock lake, Crystal. We call it South Island Park here in Vineland. That has huge fish in it.
Let me tell you something, Jeff, that Parvin Lake, now, that's been a lunker lake managed for years and years. Very shallow. I think the average depth in there is, 3.5, the maximum depth about 6, maybe 7. Continues to put out bass 4, 5, 6 pounds and better. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Most of our lakes around here are shallow like that. That's the typical style of our lakes, just a couple deep areas. But Parvin has a real good stream up on the north end of it that helps it, keep through and clean. Keeps those fish, going when it gets hot. So that's where, as the water warms up, perfect spot to get up there. If you had a boat, get up in that stream and catch, 10, 12, 14 fish in a few hours.
Oh, beautiful. On the Rack and Fin line this morning, Freshwater Report is Jeff at Blackwater Sports Center there in Vineland. Okay, at North Delsey Drive. Jeff, okay, check it out. Panfish, crappies, perch, big bluegills, what's happening?
All the spillways are going good. My number one choice is always going to be a live minnow under a bobber in some of the spillways and stuff. Alloway Lake over there in Salem County has some of the biggest crappies you can find.
Oh, yeah.
Like legit 2-pounders. And then down on Union Lake, you get around the dam area and stuff where you get some of that deeper water. You can throw some small little grubs or roadrunners, and of course, again, live minnows are going to be my favorite to fish with.
Aren't those little roadrunners kick-ass, man? They're just a fun little bait to fish, yeah.
They catch everything in the water. People come into the shop, hey, I just want to try to catch something. I really don't care what it is. Put a little roadrunner on there, perch, crappie, bluegills, little bass, pickerel, they all hit it. It's one of the best universal lures you can buy.
Okay, Jeff, before I let you go, you mentioned the magic word to me, pickerel. What's happening?
These guys, now that water's getting a little warmer, they are so active right now. You can throw any type of flashy bait, little spinner, small little minnow lure. They are just super active and cruising and feeding everywhere. All lakes around here are just loaded with it. So Rainbow Lake, Malaga Lake, Elmer Lake, again, throw something flashy like a gold spinner, you can load up on them.
Okay, Jeff, the put-and-take trout situation there, and I know the Morris, I maintain this to the day I die, has some holdover potential in there. Guys and gals still actively trout fishing? I mean, this is the final week of the stocking. Usually, I said earlier, the South Jersey Lakes Rivers basically get hit preseason and the first 3 weeks. People still trout fishing?
Yeah, we've had a steady flow of people in.
Good.
The weather being so bad that first weekend here kind of delayed it.
Yeah.
And now we're getting a steady flow of people coming in and fishing, especially with the size of fish they stocked in Crystal, South Island Park.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been going over there. We weighed in a couple fish just under 7 pounds from there. So.
All right. Okay, Jeff, I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks, man.
Awesome, Tom. See you, buddy.
Hopping down to Sea Isle City Fish Alley. Mike Critter Cunningham there. Sea Isle Bait and Tackle. Mike, what do we have going on?
Blues, blues, more blues.
I'm singing those blues, baby. I love it. Talk to me. Where and what?
Soft flags have been the ticket. Bass Assassins, Z-Man, Zooms Finesse, things like that. Soft plastics, smaller. A lot of guys want to use these big striper type soft plastics. No, you want to stay in that 4-inch range. There's a lot of there's some bay anchovies. There's a fair amount of spearing. There are some herring, but they're feeding on the smaller stuff. So go with your smaller soft plastics on a 3/8 or a half-ounce jig head. Cast it up tide and just bounce it along the bottom with the tide has been the best technique.
Mike, how big are these blues?
Up to 12, 13 pounds.
Huh.
I'd say they're averaging, 7, 8, 9, something like that.
And it's all in the back?
Yeah.
When's the invite coming, Cunningham? Come on. Work with me
I gotta
here.
get out there myself, man. You kidding me?
Mike, the magic word, any weak fish?
I've heard of a couple. Last year, this year, with the amount of blues, we've seen a decline in the number of weak fish.
Right.
We have seen a couple, but I think when the blues are as thick as they have been, the weakies just don't really compete. They move on to the next spot.
Okay, now, Mike, Tog out front on the jetties. Anything going on? Only a week left, man. What do we have?
been excellent. The party boat's been going. Every day the weather's fit and they have enough guys. They've been doing pretty well. Most guys on the boat getting a limit. A couple of guys, fish are too short. The guys fishing like the Seawall and Avalon, over Corson's Inlet, on the rocks there. The land-based guys are doing real well too. The clam bite has shut down since the water temperature went up. It's been mostly crabs here lately, but been good.
Mike, talk to me about stripers in the back and out front. What's happening?
The surf, they've been picking some up, but it's been slow. Not a lot of them. Mm-hmm. The bay has been steady catches mixed in with the bluefish during the day or at night around the lights of the docks and bridges.
Okay, hot bait for the
Still
bass?
A lot of small ones, but we've seen a couple of keepers in the past 2 weeks.
Hot bait?
Lures are catching 90% of them. If you're going to use bait, fresh clams, fresh bunker.
Okay, which lures, Mike?
Same thing they're catching the blues on.
That's it, man. The assassins. That's a tough bait. Okay, Mike, catch you next week. Thanks, brother.
Have a nice day.
Make a run up to Fanatics on West Avenue in Ocean City. Who do we have, brother? Talk to me.
Hey, Tom, it's Justin.
Justin, go!
Decent amount of action still. A lot of small bass around. Everywhere. 9th Street, Corson's, all the back bays, up the rivers. It seems to be bloodworms, pieces of clam still, small plastics, top water plugs, SP minnows, night, morning. A few bass are pushing out into the surf. Again, still small size. Let's see what else. You got perch up the rivers. Heck of a lot of perch. Decent size on them, too. 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds.
I'm seeing some big-ass spinies there, Jay. Some big-ass spinies. In fact, I leave here. I'm heading up there to that Landisville tournament. I'm there to eat. But I'm going to see some big ones going in.
Fish.
Yeah, now listen, what about weak fish? Anything?
I haven't heard a word.
That means that these Sharpies are catching them. I know that. When there's no word, I swear that means they're back there, especially behind that 51st Street access back there at night. Oh, God.
Yep, there, behind Sea Isle, behind Avalon, I wouldn't doubt it with how warm the water temp is back there.
Listen, any guys out on the Ocean City Reef for the Blackfish? Only a week left.
I haven't heard anybody.
Yeah,
I've got guys out there trying today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we will see. But I can tell you there's been decent hog action around 9th Street. And as of yesterday, I heard a much better bite on clam.
Beautiful. Okay, man, I'll talk to you next week. Thanks.
All right, man.
And just returned from Guatemala, Captain Dave the Rave Shoal. Absecon Bay Sportsman Center, 81 Natalie Terrace. And Absecon Dave with the Facebook and all this other stuff is in constant touch with Kurt and the crew at that shop up there. Captain Dave, what have you heard is going on up your way?
Well, up here, things are, the fishing's a lot better than it would appear. There's just not enough people getting out there. And if you don't get out, you're not going to make any reports, so nobody's going to know what's happening.
Well, Dave, that wind's been a killer. The other day I was down Tuckahoe Lake there. They just stocked. Dave, I'm trying to cast 2-pound test with a little trout mag in the bite of a 25-mile-an-hour wind. I mean, there were only 3 of us there. Guys, it's too windy to fish. I took a ride along the beach. It's just been the weather. The wind has been unrelenting.
Yeah, well, that's a problem with May. But I tell you, I got Gary Adair's been finding it finding enough spots out of the wind up on the Mullica River to bang some big ones. He's had a couple a 36-incher and a 40-inch. Had a 40-inch male yesterday, and it's. So everything's on the move, and everything's set up. All you got to do is get out and get them.
Captain Dave, that Adair kid's an assassin, man. I've seen him fish before. He's badass. Dave, what are you hearing in blues in Absecon Creek and down there by the inlet? Anything?
The reports are scattered. Like I said, there hasn't been, from all my reports out of here, there hasn't been enough people coming through. But they're coming. They're on the beach. Regular John Teflagian had a 11.5 pounder yesterday off of the north end of Brigantine.
Woo, nice.
That's a good start. And I'm hearing lots of reports, especially on these bluefish. A lot of guys anymore, they might keep one for the table, but most of them are getting released. So
yeah.
So you don't always see that many hanging up, which is a good thing. But there's plenty of them out there.
Captain Dave, your Toggenators, Tony and Slammer, Ray Slammer, and that crew there, they been getting any last of the blackfish?
Yeah, we did have some. When the water got clear enough for them to see a piece of crab 6 inches in front of them. The structure in the inlet here has given up some nice fish. Some outside boats have. Right now, I got a limited amount of green crabs. I don't know what's going on up north. When we finally get a season, they got a shortage of them coming south. So I think those New Yorkers just eat them all up.
Okay, Captain Dave, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, man.
Okay, we'll be here, and the fishing looking better every day, so don't waste this weekend.
Hey, Captain Dave, don't forget now, this coming Tuesday, the Absecon Pit, Heritage Park Pond's going to get 320 rainbows, brother. So get that power bait, get those little, what are those, tsunami spinners? They're badass over there. Oh, man.
Yeah, well, guess what? I'm with that kind of odds, I might even have to go freshwater fishing myself. Unless you come down here and clean them up before I can get there.
I'll see you next week, Dave.
All right.
We're going to wrap it up down Cape May Way with Cool Freddie Klug at Utch's Marina. Freddie, what's happening? I want to hear drum. I want to hear bass. I want to hear tog. I want to hear the Cape May Sea, my brother.
Well, your Cape May boys down here, they did real good on tog this week. Bobby Cope was out Monday, had just about his limit. Weighed in one here that was 12.1 pounds.
Woo!
And Tuesday, they went back again, and Bobby came home with a 15.3 pounds.
Man.
Some real good tog fishing this week.
Excellent, Freddie. Are they all at the Cape May Reef or even farther out?
Cape May Reef and a little bit further out, but they're not running far because they're not burning a lot of fuels. I do know that much.
Gotcha.
And most of those two this week, Tommy, they've had their just about their limit every trip. And Bobby Cook this morning has got 4 guys on his charter, and they headed to the Delaware Bay to see if they can get a drum finner or two.
Yeah, listen, it's Bob Cope, Captain Bob Cope, Full Ahead Sport Fishing. I like to say give him a call. He's booked. I asked him about a drum trip. Hey, Clark, I asked him about a drum trip for this year, Thanksgiving week. He said, good luck with that. He's gone, man. Freddie, so talk to me about the drum. What do you have?
Okay, all I heard was from Shep last week, a couple up there, Great Egg, up by Atlantic City, a flower plant there.
Yeah.
Nothing down here yet. Striped bass, I haven't even heard nothing about down here. There's been a few guys trying, but nothing has really caught on fire yet.
Fred, that's weird. Raritan Bay, all the way up the other end of the coast, it's absolute. It's striper side, man. They're getting fish 35, 40 pounds. It's sick. What is it down here, man? We're in a little funk. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yes, I had a guy in here that lives up above Morris River, up in Salem County there, and he was saying Ship John Light's been on fire up on the Delaware Bay side up there, but that's 40-some miles from here, so our guys won't run that far.
Okay, Fred, hey, look, is your boat ready? Is your boat ready, Club?
Not yet. Not yet.
Listen over there.
Not too good, so I'm getting somebody to whack it down.
He just doesn't want me on that boat because I'm bad luck. Hey, Freddie, I'll catch you next week, man. Thanks.
Okay, take care, man.
See you. Okay, as promised, going to wrap it up with the Atlantic City Reef premium tog numbers supplied by Hugh Carberry, New Jersey's artificial reef coordinator, who is a tog maniac. Okay, take this down. I told you earlier, have a pen and paper handy or record it or whatever. On the AC Reef, the Moriana Abaco, okay, a 265-foot tanker, numbers 3914.133. 7412.154. The Francis S. Bush, a 247-foot tanker, 3914.203. 7412.148. Okay, and the Boston, a 128-foot lightship, 3915.444. 7414.004. Primo Blackfish numbers. Thank you, Carberry, up there, Bureau of Marine Fisheries there in Nacode Creek. He's the artificial reef coordinator, and I'm going to tell you, this man lives for tog. Okay, that'll do it for this week on Rack and Fin Radio. Happy anniversary to the Fisherman Magazine. Great crew there, great editors. Read it, people. This is the source. Get out there and enjoy. I'm heading up to the Landisville Gunning Club there in Estelle Manor. A perch fry awaits. God bless America. God bless our troops. Get out and enjoy this weekend. Next week, trout, everything's happening. Everything's happening. And turkeys! Open next week. Too much going on. See you next week. Rack and Fin Radio.